so nervous. Like, I guess it's good. I don't know. I need to do this. I'm trying to make this as like organic as possible without like staging too much of it. I stayed home today. I was supposed to go to work, but I sucked it up and I got the vaccine, and this is day 3, and I have body aches really badly and had a headache all night, and my muscles were, hi, good morning. I didn't sleep, so I'm like, I'm gonna take the day off. My partner went to work, so I thought this would be the perfect time to try to do this. So I'm throwing myself into it, terrified, not feeling the greatest, and I need some RSO. My IBS is so bad. I'm shaking so bad, you guys, I can't even like, can't even dose this RSO. So, how are you guys? Have a good long weekend, hopefully. I got this shirt for a fundraiser for communities that are affected by police brutality. I donated money, but I just felt like this is perfect for me to wear doing this. That motherfucker's guilty. Accountability and justice. So that's my courage. I put the shirt on and it gave me courage to do the video. So I've been really wanting to talk about the sexual abuse that I've suffered, and man, this last couple of weeks has been crazy, reliving the trauma and talking to my sister. And I realized too, like, she has suppressed and blocked out a lot of things, and I am just so ready to get it out of me and let it go. I'm like getting emotional. I feel stupid. This is so hard. Because I know, for one, the one person that this is going to hurt the most is my mom, and I don't really want to hurt her, but I'm tired of feeling this way. Anyways, I'm drinking beer right now because I'm so scared to do this. Learning to, like, be okay with sex of any kind, even just like a physical touch or somebody touching your leg or rubbing your back, for me has been extremely challenging. And this last like 2 years, moving back from Montana and getting out of that bad relationship, like, just solidified how much this abuse has controlled and ruined my life. So, I don't even know where to start. You know, my sister and I were talking about, why didn't we like ever tell anybody that this stuff was happening to us until later on in our lives? And we never, as sisters, we never talked about what was happening to us, even though it was happening to all of us. So I've been trying to figure out where this thought process and mentality is that you don't go to somebody and ask for help. And we come to the conclusion that if you're not taught what's right or wrong, you don't know if what's happening to you is wrong. You don't know that when your stepdad is showing you his dick or rubbing your legs and accidentally having his fingers go into your pants, I mean, you feel like it's inappropriate, but it just never, like, I didn't know what I was supposed to do about it, you know? And half the time, this stuff would happen with my mom in the room, in the other room, home. And I just wonder, and I've tried asking her, I'm like, wonder if she was aware. And the more that I think about it, the more I realize I think she knew what was happening. But maybe just like us, she was so much under his manipulation and control, she didn't want to acknowledge it. I have no idea. But because of all that, the 8 years of abuse and manipulation, you know, it was really weird because it was so subtle, and I was thinking about it last night. And, you know, it started when I was like 7 years old, when my dad left and he came into the picture. And I don't know if I told you guys this. My stepdad, Patrick Hallen, I'm not going to be scared to say that. I'm definitely not going to be scared to say that. He was my grandfather's partner's stepson. And for whatever reason, my mom decided, what she told me was that she was bored. That's why she got together with him. That's specifically what she told me. And I remember coming back from being with my biological dad. And we were staying in, I think we were in like Spanaway or Tacoma or something. And it was a house that my mom and my biological dad had purchased. I think we lived there for maybe 2 years or something. I don't remember. But apparently my dad had held us girls captive. I don't really know the truth of that. I do remember grandparents, people showing up to the house to check on us and see how it was going, and my dad forcing us to like stay quiet and hide in rooms and not tell or say anything. And my grandfather's like, Johnny, what's going on? Are you okay? And I'm thinking like, what's happening? You know, but I'm like 5, what the 6, what the fuck am I going to do about it? I'm following what my dad is teaching me to do. And in that flashback moment, and in that house, I recall a moment where my mother got so mad at me for something. I don't even remember it is. And she drug me up the stairs by my hair. I was like 6, I think I was 6, I don't remember. But she drug me up the stairs by my fucking hair. Anyways, eventually my dad returns us to my mom. And I remember driving down to my grandfather's yard, and we're in his bug that he always drove, and my mom came running down the stairs to hug us. She was like super excited to see us. And then this just stands out in my mind. Pat starts walking down the back steps, and I can just see him as she's like hugging me. And it's almost like now I think it's like that's the moment that I knew, you know, 6.5, 7 years old, that he was a monster. Like, he was a fucking monster. And that's when it all started. I saw my dad like 2 or 3 times after we went back to my mom's, but he told us when he dropped us off for the last time that he couldn't see us anymore, and that he had to go away. And I didn't talk to him again until I was 18 years old. And in the meantime, this fucking piece of shit is touching me in my sleep. I wake up and he'd be in there, but he'd be like acting like he was doing something, or like drop to the floor to not get caught. He did that kind of stuff for a long time. I was remembering with my sister that camping, he even did this when we went on family camping trips. And I remember this trip to the Redwood Forest. Man, he sure loved to get us secluded and away from our grandfather, where I felt safe and comfortable. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but that's usually when most of the stuff happened. And I remember waking up to him taking pictures of me sleeping, like he must have been doing it. And I woke up and he was like standing over me and taking pictures. I think it was like 10 or 11 at this time. And I knew something was wrong when we got all the family camping pictures back, and those pictures that he was taking of me were not in there. And it was just like a lot of weird, like subtle things like that. And he worked so hard to get us to like him and trust him and befriend him. I think they call it like grooming. And yeah, I did, Darcy. I did live with my grandfather when we met. I lived with him most of my life, off and on. Fortunately, I don't know what would have happened to me had I not. Trying to read what you wrote here, Darcy. It's great to know that people can relate, because that's like always kind of what I wanted. And my sister was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to hear the point of view from another person, and from me. But I have to say that I'm not aware of him actually having sex with me, but he did touch me inappropriately all the time, smack and grab my ass, emotionally abuse me, make me feel like this big. He made me feel like I owed him something all the time. And I still don't understand a lot of it. Maybe I never will. Maybe I will. I don't know. But we were, gosh, I'm like all over the place. I'm just trying to get to the point here. And I'll continue to make stories. But the point of this one was so much abuse and neglect led me to search for relationships that I thought were healthy and the ones that I needed. And all of them, for the most part, turned out to be not so good. And I learned, or I thought I learned, that the only way to be loved and appreciated was by having sex with people, which is weird. Because when I was single and younger, I could easily just have sex with whomever I wanted and not like think about anything. It didn't bother me. But when I was in a relationship with somebody, all these like PTSD flashback moments would happen. You look at me weird or touch my leg weird, I'd like freak out, have a panic attack, and lock myself in the bathroom. But I don't know if it's because of an attachment to the significant other or what. But I end up in a relationship with somebody for 5 years. And I desperately, for so long, just wanted to get married once and have a family. And I never wanted to get divorced. I wanted to have a bunch of kids. I wanted like the life that I didn't have. And I chose to start that life with somebody who was abusive. He raped me all the time. But he didn't consider it rape because I was his girlfriend or his wife, even though it was unwanted. taught him a lesson one time. He was like forcing me to suck his dick, and I fucking puked all over him on purpose. That was like a great shining moment for me. I don't think he ever forced me to suck his dick again after that. But to be in a relationship with somebody that knows like you've had all this past trauma and they just don't care and they continue to do the same fucking things is mind-blowing. Like, I can't believe I got into a relationship that was basically the same person as my stepdad. Anyways, I worked really hard. We went to counseling. We did lots of things to make it work, to make it better. At the end of the day, we got divorced, even though he refused for 3 years and I just had to like wait it out. But we did have a baby together. And I know at the end of the day, I wouldn't change anything because I would not want to not have my son because he's amazing. And I tell him that all the time. At the end of the day, the universe knew we were supposed to be together. So, and we split up when he was 2. But one of those rapes, I got pregnant. And I was so upset and depressed and mortified, and I just had all these horrible feelings about being pregnant. And I remember like going to the doctor, and she was like so worried about me, and she knew my mental health was not in the best state. She even like prescribed me medications, like anxiety medications like citalopram or something like that. But ultimately I couldn't go on. I couldn't bring another one of his babies into the world knowing that that child was going to have to suffer what I was suffering and what my other child was having to deal with. So I made the choice to have an abortion. And that was a really, 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 really hard decision to do. And I think about it all the time. And he even tried to sabotage it. They called to confirm. I had moved out. I was living in a fucking ghetto apartment in Buckley, the like motel. I'm sure some of you know where that's at. And that's where I stayed for my recovery from my abortion. But I show up to the appointment and they're like, oh, you canceled it. So you're not scheduled to be seen today. And I was just like horrified. I was like, what are you kidding me? Like, how is this even possible? Fortunately, they were able to get me in still, and I had the abortion, and it ended up all being so hard on me that I started drinking really heavily. And I remember waking up one day because I'd been out partying, and I had no idea where I was. I had no idea what town I was in. I had no idea whose house I was in. I had no idea who was laying next to me. And I walked out of that house and I called 911 to have them come get me. And I had them put me in a psychiatric ward of a hospital for a period of time so I could get away from my husband. And I think I was there for like a week. And God, I don't know if that experience was helpful for me or what. Because I got in there and they promptly medicated me heavily. I could hardly get out of bed. They gave me so much medication. I think I slept for like 2 days in my room, and then finally they came in and told me that I needed to go to group. So I like drug myself out of bed, like my hair and everything. I probably just looked like a crazy hot mess, and drug myself to group and like pass out on the couch while everybody else was talking about shit because they forced me to go to this group. And eventually I left the facility, and then my ex-husband. And it was crazy because obviously he didn't want me to go, but I did anyways. And he would find ways to try to manipulate me. There was one time he vandalized my car. I was out on a date and he happened to be or show up where I was at. And I left with my date and I came back and he had broken into my car, pulled out all the tire stems, took out all the gas caps, all the caps of anything on the radiator, so I couldn't leave or drive away. And he would do shit like that all the time to me. Even before we were broken up, he would do stuff like that. Not allow me to leave. He would chase me down. If I was like getting in an argument and I just needed like a few minutes to just like cool down, I go into the bathroom, he would break down the door. There was one time he climbed through the bedroom fucking window so he could continue to yell at me. Breaking, smashing things constantly. He would like get all puffy and push me around with his chest and get in my face and do that kind of stuff. He never hit me, but the abuse was still there. And I ended up meeting my second ex-husband, which for the most part was an okay experience. Just didn't work out. And being able to trust people at all after all this continuously happening like throughout my life has been next to impossible. Nobody. I don't even trust myself. Like, it's crazy. After my abortion, I ended up getting pregnant again. Or no, I got pregnant and I had a miscarriage. And that miscarriage, I had to have a D&C because my body didn't expel the baby or whatever you want to call it. And I got a really, really, really bad infection in my uterus from it. And I also had to have a blood transfusion. I think like 2 pints of blood from that miscarriage. And I ended up with an infection at work, being taken away in an ambulance and hospitalized for pelvic inflammatory disease, and was on tons of antibiotics and all that shit. And then I got pregnant with my rape baby and had my abortion. So it was really surprising to find out that I was pregnant again when I found out I was pregnant with my youngest. Because they were about to tell me that they were going to remove my uterus because I've been having so much problems. And like up into the day of making the appointment for the surgery, the doctor's like, we can't do this, you're pregnant. And I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. He told me I couldn't have any more babies. And I had my youngest son. Thank God. He's amazing. But it's not been easy, and I've been working a lot to empower myself and change the way I see my life and life and things are hopefully gonna get better. Every time I think it's better, then that fucking trauma comes back to haunt me. Still need to paint. Was the plan. I was like, I'm just gonna like get ready while I'm talking because it'll make it less scary, I think. It helped. I still cried. Be on this journey to figure out having sex and a sexuality is not a bad thing. Not everybody's horrible, obviously. I tell that to somebody who's got PTSD, just haunting every fucking day of my life. There's not a moment, not a day that goes by that I don't think about any of this stuff. Which is fine. It's like, it's all a part of who I am. It's just, it's the way it is. But I think what I'm searching for is letting go and maybe somebody taking some kind of responsibility for what they've done or didn't do. Let's put some glitter on today. I always love glitter. I'm so fortunate. I found a friend. My partner is amazing. Like, he's never been a second judgmental of me ever about anything, which is weird. So I'm always like sus. Like, why? Why? But I'm always like, why? Everybody's guilty until proven innocent. Everybody's a fucking child molester until proven it. Not really, but if I let you into my life, I'm not gonna trust you. Just the way it is. I'm not gonna treat you like a piece of shit, but I'm not gonna trust you until I trust you. Which is a hard thing because it's made me very, like, I can't even have friendships. Like, I'm such a horrible friend. I don't know how to communicate with people. I don't know how to have friendships. And a lot of my friendships that I think are friendships end up turning out after years that they were just hoping they could swoop in there and get a piece of the pie. It's like, why do people do that? Why do people fucking act like your friend and you genuinely think they're your friend, but secretly they're watching their watch, waiting for their turn? It's frustrating. Why can't you just have friends? That's why I just stay to myself. No offense. Protection. Sorry, apparently I can't talk and put mascara on at the same time. I don't understand why I feel so scared and like I'm telling somebody's secrets. I'm not really telling somebody's secrets, it's my secrets. My mom would probably never take responsibility. I remember, you know, she was like one of the main reasons I wanted to leave Washington and move to Montana. I was tired of feeling the obligation that I had to be her daughter and spend time with her and do all this. It always turns out to be toxic and nothing good ever comes of it. And coming back and not being able to use Montana as the excuse to stay away, I think has been hard for a lot of people to accept. But I think people just need to respect and realize that for my own peace of mind and my own sanity, I can't have certain people in my life. I can't fake all that shit anymore. 35 years, it's time to be done with it. Way overdue. She was on her second deathbed, right before her liver transplant. And she had, I believe it's called hepatic encephalopathy. And when your liver's failing, toxins that your liver filters out will build up in your brain, like ammonia and stuff, and it'll make you crazy and respond weird ways and say weird things. But I remember being in Montana and talking to her, and she's literally dying in a bed, and I just wanted her to take responsibility for something and apologize. I was like, this is my last time. God, please just tell me that you're sorry and that you fucking care. Please. Nope. She was mad at me. She thought I was just this insensitive. Everybody's insensitive piece of shit to her. Everything is always about her. She came to me on Facebook, commented that maybe I need to hear her story, so I tell my story, right? And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? It's my story, and that's your story. Or, life, we can experience the same things, but we're gonna experience them differently. I'm checking out, thinking. I think I'm gonna call this good for now, and I'll think of some more shit to talk about and get off my chest. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in and your comments and feedback. I appreciate you listening to what I have to say, and have a great day.